At 13 years old, Richard Cabral was incarcerated for stealing a wallet. By 20, he was facing a life sentence for shooting a man. Now he's an Emmy-nominated actor, a lifelong Angelino. Cabral met me at the cafe that turned his life around. Homeboy Industries for this week's Java with Jamie.
Richard Cabral's intense look and tattoos blend in as we walk through Homeboy Industries, a Los Angeles gang intervention program that gives ex-cons a second chance by employing them in its cafe and bakery.
They had us order between the house coffee and the regular coffee. What's the difference?
It's just black coffee, but the house coffee has a little bit of orange and a little bit of canela, which is our cinnamon stick.
Cabral knows the menu well, having worked washing floors and baking pastries at the space after years in and out of jail.
You were incarcerated at 13. What was that like?
You know, growing up in Los Angeles, especially in the 90s, it's sad to say it was a common thing. Grade school, middle school, high school, college, my trajectory was juvenile hall, county jail, California Youth Authority, California prison. You get me? This is years of already, like, this is what it is.
Cabral says the generational trauma in his family runs deep. His father left when he was just 2 years old. All three of his uncles were incarcerated. Raised by a single mother, he struggled.
Do you look back and go, really? Like,
but there was no stopping it. You get what I'm saying? It was set. Like, once those handcuffs hit me the first time, like, and it's crazy to say, like, I found more love in jail and prison than I did at home. I knew that there was food. At least in jail, I knew that there was a warm bed. At least in jail, I knew that my mom's boyfriend wasn't there.
By the time he turned 20, he faced a 35-year life sentence for a violent assault with a deadly weapon. He was sentenced to 5 years and realized he needed to change.
When I got out of prison, this is where I came for a job, and this is where I worked in the bakery and in the cafe.
Working his way up in the cafe, he became the Muffin Man by day, and after watching a video by fellow felon and actor Danny Trejo, decided to start attending Central Casting at night. Soon, producers of Southland discovered Cabral.
You gonna live? Me? Yeah, man, I've never been better.
Then came a cameo in Bruno Mars' music video, Grenade. Auditioning for the Ridley Scott film, The Counselor.
I mean, I've tried a couple of times, and I gotta say, it works pretty good.
Cabral had his first real pinch me moment.
Being in prison, I wasn't allowed to get a passport. So the first time I got off parole, I wanted to get a passport, right? I didn't have nowhere to go, and I get a call 2 weeks later, and I got the part for Ridley Scott. And I'm on a plane. I'm getting on a plane to London and to Spain to do the new Ridley Scott film. I was still working here. Like, this was like fresh in. That moment of sitting on that plane, I believe changed how I came back, you know, and how I seen myself. And it was that question, right? Like, bro, you were in prison like 3 years ago. And what did that mean? Sitting all those years in prison. That was your work, Richard. They had different work, but they worked just as hard, and you deserve to be on this plane.
Then came American Crime and an Emmy nomination in 2015. That's when Homeboy Industries pastor, Father Greg Boyle, asked Cabral how he was taking it all in.
And I remember I broke down and started crying.
Cabral recently got to work with his hero, Danny Trejo, and he says his best work just aired on Law & Order SVU. Cabral says he has many more roles to take on, but one is the most important.
I have 4 children. They continue the story, right? The main thing is that they never have to live and go through what I went through. That's the story, right? That everything that I'm creating is for them, you know, this empire, this temple, whatever I want, you know, I want my children to take this and, you know, to continue it, you know, and it's that, like, you don't have to live in that negativity, you know, just like, no, life is beautiful.
don't you love that? Life is beautiful.
And he has created an empire.
He has.
I said, I'm watching your interview, and he's so animated as he's talking.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's an intense guy,
yeah,
for sure. What I love about him, though, is that he is so focused on his kids never having to go through what he went through. Right. And if you look at it, you know, it is the story of a lot of people in Los Angeles who grew up here because the disparity is so great. He told me, you know, I had never gone to the beach, you know, as a kid. That was something
East LA
you didn't get to do.
World.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So to be able to get out of that and now be where he is, but it's so important to him. He really wanted to do that interview at Homeboy Industries because he said, you know, it's important for people in my old neighborhood to see where I am now, not how I got here necessarily, but that I look like them, I've gotten these roles, I'm in the position that I am, and you know, you can do it too.
Great interview. And Homeboy Industries, and I've been there for several stories, but they're a blueprint.
Yeah, they really
for
are.
so many other organizations. So great work by all.
Yes.
All right.